I'm Dave Fennoy, and I'm the voice of Lee Everett on the Walking Dead game. We had a live question and answer session the other day on Kotaku, and we had some technical difficulties. I wasn't able to get to everybody's question. So I thought I would synthesize them since there seemed to be, some similarities between several people's questions. So here we go. And first, thank you for being interested. I'm glad you like the game, and I'm glad you like my performance. Your comments mean a lot to me. And thank you, Tina Amini, who invited me to answer these questions. So, first of all, how did I get the job? Well, I auditioned like most voice actors. Apparently, they had actually recorded the first episode. The guy they had hired to play Lee wasn't working out. There's a guy at Telltale Games named Javier, heard me on another game, said, let's audition this guy. I did, got the part, and the rest is history. Was I familiar with the Walking Dead franchise beforehand? Well, how could you not be? Great show on AMC TV. I had read the graphic novel. I wouldn't say I was the biggest fan in the world, but I did like it. And so I was very pleased to be a part of this great Robert Kirkman work. Do I like Lee, and how is he different from other characters that I've played? I love the character of Lee Everett for a number of reasons. He's very, very real. He's just a regular guy thrown into extraordinary circumstances, and he has to rise above, and he puts the life of somebody else, this little girl, Clementine, above his own, and that's very special. He's different from other characters I've played in that usually I'm playing two-headed dragons or monsters or something else, wizards, warlords, warriors of some kind, more two-dimensional characters, and Lee is very, very real. Did we work ensemble or separately? People were so amazed at how good the dialogue was. And surprisingly, all that dialogue was recorded separately. Each actor recorded by themselves. Sometimes as many as, I know for myself, each episode was at least 1,200 lines. So kudos to Telltale, to Julian Kwasniewski, who was our and there's my dog bark. All right, Marley, all right, it's okay. To Julian Kwasniewski, who was the director and the writers for writing such good scripts. They really had to make sure that our volumes, our tones were matching, and that you knew the relationships between the people you were working with. This is somebody I like, somebody I don't like, so forth and so on. And they did a great job and helped us do a great job. Great cast, by the way. Kudos to the whole cast. Melissa and Gavin, Clem and Kenny and everybody else. Do I think the Walking Dead game is a good game? I do. But more importantly, we've been named the Game of the Year by 55 or so publications about games. And that's something. And the comments I get from gamers that they've never been emotionally involved in a character before, and that the final scene, episode 5, between Clementine and Lee made them cry. That means a lot. Did I think the game would be so popular? I had no clue. I knew it was good, but just because it's good doesn't mean it's going to be popular. I had no idea. It's very gratifying that it is. Did Lee redeem himself? Well, here's a guy who he'd been a college professor, found his wife in bed with another man, killed them both, and was on his way to jail for murder when the zombie apocalypse hits, and he escapes and meets this 9-year-old girl, and he takes it upon himself to save her. And yes, I do think he redeemed himself by saving her. What are you doing? You want to get on camera there? It's one of my dogs. How do I feel about A-list actors doing animated movies and games? I've got mixed feelings. On one hand, don't they have enough work? They're movie stars. They got cameras following them around. They're making all the money. And sometimes I think in our culture that is very, very into celebrities, that some other fine actors that I know can get overlooked for the sake of the popularity of the well-known actors. On the other hand, if you can do the job and you're good, why shouldn't you? How do you become a game voice? Well, you got to practice, just like anything else, and keep knocking on doors till your knuckles are bloody. And if they don't open then, keep knocking. All right. I had some crazy questions. My favorite pie, apple. My dreadlocks. Several people made comment of my hair. They liked them. Yes. And that's how I basically take care of it. It's wash and wear hair, get it twisted up every 6 months or so. And I've been growing these about 15 or 16 years. Somebody said, well, couldn't the stink of the survivors fool the zombies? Well, those survivors were probably pretty stinky, but there's no funk like the funk of zombies. Those suckers smell bad. So I don't think as funky as the survivors were that it compared with that zombie funk. And said Meki asked me to acknowledge her existence. Well, the only evidence I have that you exist, said Meki, is your question. And I don't even think that's your real name. So do you exist? Do you not? I can't acknowledge that. I'm sorry. Anyway, that said, let me say thank you once again for checking this out. I hope I've answered your questions. If you have other questions, well, you can check me out on Facebook. Like my Facebook page, Dave Fennoy, voice actor. Follow me on Twitter. And please visit davefennoy.com, my website. And I even have a store there. You can buy T-shirts and coffee cups and all that kind of good stuff. And once again, thank you to Kotaku. I don't know why I can't say that. Thank you to Kotaku and Tina Amini for inviting me to do this. Means a lot. I am overwhelmed. And all the fans, love you guys. See ya.